Hey, what is happening, everybody out there? Welcome to the channel. This is Jakejames Lugo. Hope you guys have been doing all right. So what I'm doing now is I'm doing a reboot of my original show, Definitive Discussion, that I used to have here on the YouTube channel. I figured, you know what? I love doing podcast discussions on a variety of different topics, bringing on a guest and chatting it up with them about a whole bunch of different stuff. So why not bring the series back and kind of bring it back in a brand new light, give it a fresh coat of paint, and kind of present it to you guys and see how you all like it. So for my first inaugural episode, I got SkywardWing, my boy. What's going on, my man? How you been?
Hey, I'm all right. I'm pretty good.
Yeah.
Weather's nice. I got no complaints. Just came back from the gym.
Oh, you came back from the gym. You made some gains?
I'm trying to make some gains. Yeah.
So wait a second. Like when you usually go into the gym, but whenever you hear somebody's going to the gym, it's either one of two things. Either one, they want to get really fit, or two, they're going to go press somebody. Like I feel like somebody either said something really bad about your favorite game, and you're going to go press them or something like that, or anything of the sort.
No, it's definitely one of those. Like I just want to be healthy for me. You know, I'm not trying to beat down on anybody. Promise. Like no way.
Says that now, but later all of a sudden you see it in the news. SkywardWing presses somebody.
If it happens, it happens. That's not the goal.
Yeah, right. But this is cool because we never talked on a podcast like this before. We've been friends for a while. We've known each other for a while. You know, we have mutual friends and stuff, which is cool. We love similar games. We love Kingdom Hearts. Obviously, you're a big Kingdom Hearts fan. You do a lot of content with Kingdom Hearts on your YouTube channel, which is SkywardWing on YouTube, which is cool. So I figured, you know what? Why not bring you on and let's talk about one of our mutually favorite games in the series, Kingdom Hearts 2. Because I think if you said a couple of times in some of your videos that Kingdom Hearts 2 is one of your favorite in the series, or at least you have a real big affinity with it. But I want to kind of deep dive into the game a little bit or get some opinions out there and stuff. So in your opinion, basic 1-2 sentence or so, why Kingdom Hearts 2? Why is it your favorite game in the series?
It's not only is it my favorite game in the series, it's like my favorite game of all time. It's just my magnum opus. Just
that's a big statement.
Yeah, it's my all-time favorite, and it's just because every time I pick it up, from when I played when I was back in elementary school to now, I still have that same level of enjoyment. And now, especially too, like going back and playing more, you can see there's a lot more layers to the game than I didn't know about as a kid. So the game just got progressively better for me. And each time I play, I'm like, whoa, I can do this, I can do that, and I'm like, it's just there's so many layers to it, and that's what I really like about it.
Yeah, it's a big step up over Kingdom Hearts 1 for sure. Obviously, gameplay-wise, the way it flows, the controls even, a lot of the abilities that you could do with Sora, Donald, and Goofy, even in the beginning with Roxas and the prelude of sorts, or at least the prologue, a lot of people would say. But for me, personally, I always felt that Kingdom Hearts 2 was the game in the series that always had the most kind of like, moments that actually resonated with a lot of people. I think I always go to the specific moment and when you're playing the game much later. It's got to be like hours into the game. The second time you go to Hollow Bastion, and you have that moment where Goofy looks like he dies, or it's like, it's like a fake out, obviously, because this is a Disney game. Obviously, nobody's going to die, per se. But it's that moment where all of a sudden, things kind of get a little bit more serious, and that's the first time you actually see Sora or any of the other characters in the Kingdom Hearts series really kind of team up with all the Final Fantasy characters. And I always thought that entire series of events was really, really cool. I always go back to that being the best in the Kingdom Hearts series for me, anyway.
I think about it, too, like, the sequence that happens after that too is like Sora fighting against like 1,000 Heartless, which is like, whoa, like
super
just
powerful.
He's just beating down on everything, and it's great. Like it's one, like I was literally thinking as you were saying one moment in Kingdom Hearts 2 that I really resonate with, and I knew immediately what you were talking about. I was like, I know what he's gonna bring.
I think it's the best moment in my opinion. Like throughout the entire of the game, like there's a lot of good moments in Kingdom Hearts 2, and all the games for the most part have their own little moments that stick out to people when they think about them. But for me, Kingdom Hearts 2 has that. It has the moment, the second fight with Sephiroth, which I think is the better fight, even though it's not the toughest fight compared to the original Sephiroth fight in KH1. Then you have all the stuff with, Organization 13 towards the end of the game where things get really crazy and like over the top. I feel like there's a lot more wow moments like that kind of really took the series into that wackier territory than it did when it was first Kingdom Hearts and then Kingdom Hearts Chains of Memories.
Yeah, no, I definitely get that. Especially the way Sora acts as a character. I think this is his best personality throughout the series. In later titles, he kind of gets a little bit more naive. Even like sometimes he gets to a point where it's just a little ridiculous the way he acts. I feel like Kingdom Hearts 2 Sora really has the fine balance of fun and charismatic and also sometimes gets serious, and with like that healthy medium of a goofy protagonist, you know.
Yeah. So let me ask you this then. Like, what, in your opinion, who do you think is the best character in Kingdom Hearts 2? Because even though I love Sora and I love most of the cast, but to me, I always go to Riku. I always felt like Riku, throughout all the games for the most part, always had the most growth in some form or fashion. Like, he always goes through the most stuff, but he always comes out as a better character than when you initially first saw him at the beginning of whatever game that you're playing at the time. Like, I know a lot of people love Sora, a lot of people love Roxas, a lot of people love Kairi, and a couple of the other characters you run into, but for me, it was always Riku. But what about you?
Well, you bring up Riku. I think I wouldn't say for Kingdom Hearts 2. Definitely throughout the entire series is the entire like arc of the Kingdom Hearts 1 to Kingdom Hearts 3, like the whole shebang. I feel like Riku definitely is the best character. He's grown the most. He has gone through darkness so many times and has just built up an immunity from it because of how amazing he was able to handle it all. But if I had to say Kingdom Hearts 2, I'm definitely putting it down to Roxas. I feel like Roxas, because the entire first 2 hours of the game is just focusing on him and his daily activities. And I remember thinking as a kid, like, wow, this prologue section's really boring. I want to get
Really
to the
long.
good stuff. Yeah, but then now, like, I see it from a storytelling perspective of, wow, like things are about to get really bad, and they're showing us just how it kind of eases into the more serious storytelling versus Roxas hanging out with his friends and trying to go to the beach, and just how his life is just constantly falling apart at every possible turn. He just finds out he just wasn't even meant to exist. So it's a really tragic story, but I do like him a lot.
Honestly, for me, I was always in the camp where I never really liked Roxas. I was always in the camp where, again, that prologue is a lot longer than what it probably needed to be. I always felt like if that prologue was never in the game, and like you heard about Roxas through like different bits and pieces after Sora wakes up, and then later on when we got Kingdom Hearts 358 over 2 days, and then you finally saw all those series of events plus whatever you got in days, I always felt like people would resonate with Roxas a little bit more. Granted, a lot of people love him now because, again, his story is so tragic. He goes through a lot of stuff, and there's a lot of heavy-handed emotional stuff that happens in the greater context of everything that's going on. But for me, I was in that same camp with a lot of people that it felt like, you know, we were duped a little bit in the beginning because you're spending so much time in the beginning of the game with Roxas before you even get to Sora and like pick up where his story left off. And granted, again, if you didn't play Chain of Memories or whatnot, if you just went from Kingdom Hearts 1 to Kingdom Hearts 2, I think it was probably a little bit worse for some people. I mean, overall, that prologue, you know, minus the fact, you know, with history, you know, showing now that we got other games and context with it, all that stuff. Do you always felt like that prologue was a little bit overstood its welcome?
Definitely. No other Kingdom Hearts game has a prologue to that scale. You could argue Kingdom Hearts 1, but Kingdom Hearts 1 was really just building up.
It was the start, yeah.
It was the start. It's the very beginning of the story, so it's expected for something like that. Kingdom Hearts 2 is the third game in the series, and especially with how Chain of Memories ended, where Sora goes into a deep sleep. And I really like how you brought up too. Like, I would like to imagine in a different world where the 7 days that Roxas is, you know, just kind of hanging out with his friends in Twilight Town would be a part of days, and then let's say Kingdom Hearts 2 picks up directly as Sora wakes up.
Yeah, like imagine that. Like to me, I felt like it's like that cliffhanger, like that all of a sudden like something really bad happens, but then you realize, oh, this is leading into Kingdom Hearts 2 like that. And it was be like, to me, I felt like it would be a little bit more emotionally impactful because you get to see all the stuff before Roxas, you know, goes into that kind of like that digital world, you know, the digital Twilight Town, and then you get to see afterwards leading up to the very beginning of that. And I always felt also, I think a thing that we should acknowledge was that I think a lot of people felt a little bit burned. Because going from Kingdom Hearts 1 to Kingdom Hearts 2 without playing Chain of Memories, because I don't think the majority of people played Chain of Memories on Game Boy Advance. I think a lot of people, you know, even though diehard Kingdom Hearts fans played everything, I think the majority of people went just straight from 1 to 2. That all of a sudden you're kind of thrown into all this stuff, and it's like, whoa, what happened to my boy that I spent like 40 plus hours with?
I feel like that's going to be... We're going to go through that again very soon with Kingdom Hearts 3.
You think so?
Definitely. Because there's going to be a lot of people who jump in from Kingdom Hearts 2 and that's just going to jump into 3.
And they miss like 4 games.
Yeah, they're going to miss a lot. It's not to the same degree, since Chain of Memories is only 1 game. This is up to 4, so it's going to be way worse. And I can imagine people are going to be very confused because Kingdom Hearts 3 isn't meant to be a game that's easy to understand. You know, it's the conclusion. It's the Infinity War of the Kingdom Hearts series.
Everything's coming together.
Everything's coming together. Like, we've worked towards this, you know? So I feel like there's going to be a lot of complaints about that, but that's just storytelling. That's just, you have to know the entire story before trying to go into the ending, which is a little ludicrous. But to bring it back to Kingdom Hearts 2, I played Chain of Memories as a kid. I couldn't beat it because I was really bad. I got to the Riku replica fight in Chain of Memories and I never beat it. So I
Yeah,
don't know how the game ended until much later in my life. So going into two, I was relatively like, oh, like what is going on? I was confused, but I was a kid. I didn't really care, you know. It all kind of made sense later, especially in that one scene where Sora's like, I never turned into a Heartless, and like I didn't play Kingdom Hearts 1 until after I beat Kingdom Hearts 2. I played them out of order.
that's
I was one of those
interesting.
people.
That's
So
really interesting. I've
I was like,
never heard of that
oh.
before. I never heard of that before playing Kingdom Hearts 2 before 1. I mean,
Mhm.
when you finally played part 1 after going through all of Kingdom Hearts 2, I mean, did it feel like different? Did it feel like a, a huge step backwards? I mean, what was that like?
Oh, it definitely did. But that's because that's just kind of the progression of the game. The game evolved; it got better. Going back, it was like, ooh, this is clunky. Sora's not as fast. The platforming's really bad. The worlds are a little bit more lively, but it was weird going back, you know. But I didn't really care because it was the same. It had the same feeling, you know. Sora going world to world with Donald and Goofy to save Disney characters and such. So like,
Yeah. So let me ask you this then, because speaking of worlds, which I think, and I could be wrong at this, if you're listening to this, let us know in the comments section if I'm right or wrong about this. I think Kingdom Hearts 2 has the most worlds out of all the Kingdom Hearts games, correct? I think
that
it's
is
got the
correct.
most. Yeah, I think it's got a couple more than Part One, and I think the later games like Birth by Sleep, Dream Drop Distance, and some of the other ones, they didn't get as many worlds as some of the other console games.
Yeah, that is true. Kingdom Hearts 2, I think, really, off the top of my head, has 13 worlds in total.
Kind of going with the whole 13 Seekers of Darkness
Hmm.
thing. I mean, but is that like, including like, the world that
Yes,
never
that's
was, Hollow Bastion, etc.?
yeah, all of them. That's 13. Like
Okay. Okay.
100 Acre Wood, all of it.
So let me ask you this then. What do you think of the world selection of Kingdom Hearts 2? Because I think that it's better than Kingdom Hearts 1, even though I felt like Kingdom Hearts 1, there was a lot more charm to it, with it being like the first time you're seeing, you're going into like these Disney worlds and you're kind of experiencing them in that same way that we would come to learn with the series. But with Kingdom Hearts 2, I felt like, going into places like, the Pride Lands, going and seeing Atlantica in a different way, even though Atlantica as a musical world, I never really jived with. But like some of the other worlds, like when you go to Hollow Bastion, it turns to Radiant Garden, like stuff like that, I always felt was such a huge leap forward that I felt like I was getting more by visiting these worlds in part two. I mean, did you feel somewhat the same?
I do, because especially because I feel like Kingdom Hearts 2 stroke the happy medium of many returning worlds as well as many new worlds, such as like Timeless River, Land of Dragons, Beast Castle, and Beast Castle especially because we got to see Beast in Kingdom Hearts 1, and now we got to see where he came from. And similar to what you said about Pride Lands, like we got to see Simba in Kingdom Hearts 1, and now we got to see his world. So I really like how they included that. I had a lot of fun with the worlds, though. I really liked the world selection. There wasn't a world that really stuck out to me as, that's weird, except for Pirates of the Caribbean. But
Yeah,
hey,
I was just gonna say, like, to me, that and Tron, even though I felt Tron kind of like felt right and kind of meshed well with all the other worlds because Tron is like so out there. It's just the realistic take, from Pirates of the Caribbean being such a different, interpretation of like what like these Disney characters would be kind of interacting with, just felt a little bit out of place. But I didn't take that long for me to just kind of roll with it, and I was totally fine afterwards.
yeah, no, I feel you. And it's definitely like the art. A lot of people got complaints about it, the way the world looks artistically, because you could see like Sora and Donald and Goofy are a lot brighter than let's
They're
say
more
every other
saturated.
character. They're a lot more saturated. But I see in Kingdom Hearts 3, they really did it. They did it. Like I did. That's the world that I didn't know I wanted. I looked at it and I was like, wow, it's unbelievable just looking at this. So I'm open to giving it a chance. And the way they enhance swimming, because everybody didn't really, a majority of people didn't really like Atlantica's swimming controls. It was a little clunky. It was weird and just, but still,
Yeah.
Kingdom Hearts 2. I feel like I had a lot of healthy transformation worlds too. Like you turn into a lion or you turn into a mermaid or something along those lines.
So, what do you feel like is the worst world out of Kingdom Hearts? I mean, obviously, a lot of people easily go to Atlantica because it's a musical world. It's kind of radically different than all the other worlds because you're not playing the game in the same way that you do in all those other worlds. But for you, like, which one, gameplay wise, that's like that traditional Kingdom Hearts style out of all the worlds that are Kingdom Hearts 2, which is the one that you felt like just didn't hit the mark?
Shoot, I got to really think about it. I'm gonna, because I really liked all of them. Like I'm trying to think. I think Pride Lands was the one actually.
You think so?
Pride Lands for me has a lot to do with you lose a lot of the toys Sora has in a lot
That's
of the
true.
other worlds. So you can't go into drives, you can't do summons, you can't block, just stuff like that. You're like, all right.
I
And
felt
it has
that
that
way.
traditional hack and slash gameplay.
Yeah, I felt that exact same way about Kingdom Hearts 1 when you go to Atlantica and you start swimming, as a mermaid Sora and stuff. I felt that same way where I'm not able to guard, I'm not able to do a lot of different stuff. So I could totally understand and feel where you're coming from with the Pride Lands.
Yeah, like it felt like I feel like they could have done all that and kind of enhanced the way you are, like having your dry forms, having your summons, but as a lion. I think
Ooh.
that'd be really cool. But they didn't. I don't know if it was like a time thing, hardware thing, or just it doesn't seem right. Like how do you change? I would say how would you change clothing, because you know he doesn't have any clothing, but at the same time, at in Kingdom Hearts 3, they have the Monsters Inc. world, and there's dry forms in that, and his skin changes, which I was like, oh, that's pretty interesting. Um,
That's neat. I mean, I can't wait to see that. But you know, just thinking about that now, it would have been cool if like Sora grew a mane as a lion. Like if he went to like any one of his forms, like Valor form or even Master form or Final form, where he gets like a different colored mane around him as a young lion. 'Cause I think it would look funny because it would look really goofy, but it'd be like a nice little detail to kind of complement, you know, the visual stuff of like what's going on screen.
yeah, and block is a very important thing to me. Like if you can't block, you're open to just being destroyed. And it's just like, yo, I have the ability to block everywhere else, and now I just get hit in the face whenever I try to, do something cool. But
So let me ask you this then to kind of bounce off of that. Well, let's talk about magic, because obviously you got a lot more abilities in Kingdom Hearts 2 over Kingdom Hearts 1, and obviously Chain of Memories. You get the drive forms, you get all the different types of magical spells you could kind of upgrade, you know, from their original status all the way to like the Aga status, so like Thundaga, Firaga, Blizzaga, etc. And then you also get the summons, which has also been a staple since the first game and stuff. I mean, what do you think about all those different abilities? I love the summons in Kingdom Hearts 2. I think they look great, but I seldom use them. Like, I hardly ever use them whenever I'm playing. Like, I know some people go to, like, Bambi, some people go to, like, Genie or Tinkerbell, etc., but I never really kind of messed with the summons like that compared to the drive forms, which is what was really kind of, like, touted about because you got two Keyblades and stuff, obviously.
yeah, the thing about that I feel like is with Kingdom Hearts, this is a common complaint that the game gets. It's like press X to win. Um, so drive forms enhances your press X to win. You know, summons don't do that. Summons are just kind of like in casual play, you really won't use them as often. I feel like that's just a curse of the Kingdom Hearts series, like Kingdom Hearts 1 and Kingdom Hearts 2 and 3. Like when I had my hands on with 3, the summons are just like, oh, like that was neat. I'm probably never
They're
gonna do
kind of
that again.
just there.
Yeah, I'm probably never gonna do that again because it's not practical to use in combat. But yeah, like I said, for a casual player, it's fine. But like people, like speed runners or top level players of this game, have to find a way to just break the game using summons. Like for example, there's a boss fight with Sayax, and if you summon Peter Pan, and if you hit Sayax by just doing an aerial combo but not finishing it, Peter Pan does massive amounts of damage to him, and he keeps him like stun locked, and he can't move. So you could really break the game if you know how to use the summons properly.
That's pretty crazy. So let's talk about now boss fights, because I think some of the boss fights at Kingdom Hearts 2 are the best in the series. Like, I love the Sephiroth boss fight. I love the Saix boss fight. I think the ending boss fight with Xemnas, I think it's probably not the most ideal, but it is very cool with all the different stuff that happens before you team up with Riku and stuff. I mean, there's a lot of craziness that goes on. However, I never felt like a lot of the Disney fights, with maybe the exception of probably one or two, really kind of cut it. Like, they weren't really all that great. Like, some of them were more annoying than they were fun. I mean, am I alone in this?
And I definitely feel that. I use Pete as an example. Like he was just kind of like he was free, you know. It was just kind of he's running around the map like he's just trying to get hit. Like it's just like all right. But the more original character bosses are just some of the best. It feels so good to fight them. Like the whole Cavern of Remembrance and the 13 data battles are really fun. Like those are enjoyable fights, and I could do those over and over again. But I see what you mean about the Disney thing. I would like to counteract though, because I feel like reaction commands are they're very theatrical.
True.
Like they're crazy. Like Beast Castle, there's a Heartless boss, and you bring down a chandelier and you smack him with it, and I'm like, oh my god,
And
like
it takes
this is
like
something
massive
that's happening?
damage.
Yeah,
Like,
I'm like, holy like what? That's crazy. So seeing stuff like that, I really enjoyed. It's really like whoa.
and again, I think even with some of the other boss fights, again, bringing up Sephiroth again, just having those reaction commands that not only look crazy, but also though some of them are really key to like actually doing damage in the fights, or like really changing the momentum back into your favor, especially towards the late half of the game or the later sections of the game, or even during those data battles. Like they just become almost like a necessity at that point, which one of the things that I guess I could say is a big criticism of Kingdom Hearts 2, and it's kind of lingered around throughout the entire series. I think sometimes the difficulty with not just the boss fights, but in certain sections could be a little bit imbalanced. Like there'll be long extended periods of time where things are like super easy, like you said, press X to win. But then there'll be like that once in a while you hit that brick wall or hit that particular fight that just really takes a lot out of you because it's so difficult and you have to micromanage a lot of different stuff.
Yeah, no, I definitely feel that. A lot of the bosses that are seemed as difficult would be like Zaldin in Beast Castle. Like that's one of the
Yeah,
bosses I feel like a
definitely.
lot of people struggle with. Throughout the rest of the game, you're flying through, even at the hardest difficulties. You know, you just kind of like, all right, this is fine. Kingdom Hearts 2 is definitely one of the easiest ones in the series. Um, this is why people do like level 1 runs just to kind of
Yeah, the
challenge
critical runs.
themselves. Yeah, like they really are, cynics for that kind of stuff.
Now, let me ask you this though about the bonus fights, because I know Kingdom Hearts 1 really kind of started that trend where you'll get like those special fights that are kind of like off to the side. You don't really need to do them to complete the game and stuff, but they're there as far as like, a completionist journey. In Kingdom Hearts 2, we obviously have the Colosseum stuff. We obviously have Sephiroth, and I think we have like one or two more, correct? Or am I missing a few?
In Kingdom Hearts 2,
In Kingdom Hearts 2, because there's Sephiroth, which you fight in Hollow Bastion, Radiant Garden. Then you have a couple of the fights that are in the Colosseum, which is in Hades' place, correct? And then I think am I missing any others? Or
if you're talking about Kingdom Hearts 2
oh
solely,
no,
yeah.
oh yeah, because there's also the mysterious figure, which is basically Terra, which is like right next to Timeless River and stuff. And I think am I missing one more?
There's also the data battles, the 13 data
Okay,
battles.
okay. Well, we said those before. So yeah, the data battles will count that as also because they're also optional like that. So yeah, there's a lot of different bonus extra content that's like supplemental to the main quest and stuff. I mean, overall, just as a package, like what do you think about all that supplemental content? I mean, good, bad, easygoing, not so easygoing. Could have done more. What do you feel like?
The bosses, those bosses are the ones that really challenge you. They break the game,
Literally.
They just like they I feel like especially the jump from Kingdom Hearts 2 to Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, the jump there is so massive. There's just like so much extra content. These bosses are very gratifying to beat.
But do you feel like you get enough from beating them? Like I know in the original Kingdom Hearts 2, you didn't really get a lot from beating stuff. Like obviously beating Sephiroth, you got the extra Keyblade and stuff. And I think in Final Mix, you get I think it's the crowns from beating the different data battles and stuff. Yeah, I think you could get like up to a gold crown at one point when you beat them all or something of the sort. But like, do you feel like that there should have been more stuff like given to the player for completing stuff like that, like extra cutscenes or like extra Keyblades or like extra stuff that you could actually look at that might not be necessarily you playing the game, but like extra stuff to just observe?
No, I mean, I get that. It's just definitely one of those. If the post game content is done and you have all this stuff, like, what are you going to use all this stuff for? I like to use like Breath of the Wild, the Champions DLC as an example. When
Yeah.
you're done with all of it, you get the bike, and that's really cool. But like, what are you doing now with
Just
the bike?
traversing
Yeah.
Hyrule.
So you're just chilling. Like, there's no reason to have this bike. It's just fun. So it's just definitely like one of those like you earned it. It's yours. Enjoy. There's no real purpose. It's just kind of one of those like you did it. That's like your award for doing so.
True, good point. I always felt like, with some of those battles, I always would have loved like maybe getting like development diaries or like seeing like extra like, B-rolls or like stuff like trailers and stuff, something that you could see like in the main menu, like the actual like theater or something of that sort. I know later games actually started doing that a little bit more, but at least, back during its original release, that was some of the thoughts that I had when I was playing some of these battles.
I know, I definitely get that. In Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, they have like a trophy, in-game trophies,
Yeah,
not
that's
like
right.
not like the PlayStation trophies, but like those are really cool to get because you felt good. You're like, oh, like that's that completionist in someone, just like, yes, I got this.
Definitely. So, final thoughts about Kingdom Hearts 2. I mean, if there's one or two things that you could say about Kingdom Hearts 2 that, again, maybe there's people out there obviously that haven't played it. I know there's a lot of people that have, especially if you're on YouTube. I'm pretty sure you probably played Kingdom Hearts 2 at some point. But for the people that don't know, that are out there, I mean, what would you say to them that you feel like, would get them to actually play Kingdom Hearts 2, or what you feel like is the one thing that really defines Kingdom Hearts 2?
Definitely play 1 and 2, 1 in Chain of Memories first. And if you can't, it's still a pretty good standalone story, but you won't get the full grasp of it. The gameplay is where this game shines. It's so satisfying to pick it up and just wail on Heartless and nobodies, and it tells a very calm and somber story. It's not super complicated like the future titles get. Like, this is the best the Kingdom Hearts series has been.
Yeah, I agree. And I would also add into there, take your time. Because I felt like when I played Kingdom Hearts 1, I played Kingdom Hearts 2 later on, I took my time. I didn't rush through the worlds because I know a lot of people want to be able to complete stuff, get through the main story and everything like that, especially now these days with a lot more modern games. But I always feel like if you take your time, if you go through every single world that you could go to and lock them all and stuff in Kingdom Hearts 2, that you would get a lot more enjoyment out of everything, and you'd be a lot more satisfied by the time you're finished.
Oh yeah, I get that.
Definitely. So, with that being said, though, guys, this is going to be our definitive discussion about Kingdom Hearts 2. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed it. Sky, where can they find you? Where are you at? What are you up to?
You can find me on YouTube at SkywardWing. I post cartoon and Kingdom Hearts related content. If you want to find me on Twitter too, same thing at SkywardWing. All that good stuff.
Awesome. Yeah, there'll be links in the description box below, guys, so you guys can check it out. You can go directly to it. Send him some love. Send him some owl hugs or whatnot. Thank you, Sky, for coming out to the show. This cool reboot. What did you think? Was it awesome? Was it cool? Was it clean?
I liked it. I did.
You like it? It's dope. Awesome. Yeah, it was fun because we got to talk about a game that we love, which is pretty dope. So, but yeah, guys, thank you again for checking out this episode of Definitive Discussion. I'll be back again sometime with a brand new episode and also a brand new guest. Let me know what's up in the comment section below. Leave a like on this video. Subscribe to my YouTube channel for all my videos and stuff that I post here on the channel. And I will talk to you again very soon. Peace out and stay epic, everybody.